Hi everyone. If you've been on this journey of self-awareness and manifesting and remembering who you really are for a while, then what I'm going to talk about today is going to speak to something very deep inside you. It's something most of us have felt, even if we've never quite put it into words. It's that quiet, persistent inner sense that there's more to you. That the version of you trying to figure things out, trying to fix things, trying to make life work, isn't the whole story. That there's something wiser, calmer, more powerful within you. And today, we're going to bring that something into focus. We're going to talk about you, but not just the everyday you that you see in the mirror. I'm talking about the bigger part of you. The you that exists beyond fear, beyond confusion, beyond doubt. The part of you that knows what you really want. And not only that, it also knows the perfect way to bring it into your experience. And once you understand this, once you start trusting this part of you, everything changes. Let's begin by talking about who you really are. If I asked you, who are you? You'd probably answer with your name, maybe your job, your age, your background, your family roles. These are the layers we usually identify with, what we see in the mirror, what people say about us, how we experience life day to day. But that's just one level of you. That's the human self. It's the part of you that wakes up in the morning, the part that checks your phone. It's the part that gets worried about bills, about relationships, about the future. It's the part that tries to make good decisions but often doesn't know what to choose. It's the part that feels like life is something you're trying to survive or maybe improve. But there's another level that is also you. I like to call it the God self, but it can have many different names. You can call it your inner being, higher power, higher self, the subconscious, infinite intelligence, all that is, source, or simply God. Don't get too hung up on the name. I tend to use all of these words interchangeably, depending on what I feel that the person I'm talking to at the time will resonate with the most. But from now on, whenever you hear any of these words being used, they are all referring to the same thing, the higher level of you, the bigger part of you. And this part of you exists beyond what your eyes can see and what your logical mind can grasp. This part of you is vast, it's intelligent, it's creative beyond imagination. It holds the entire blueprint of your life. Not a rigid plan, but a living knowing of everything that could truly fulfill you. This bigger part of you knows what lights you up, what would bring you peace, love, freedom, abundance. It sees the shortest path, the smoothest path, the most joyful path to everything you desire. Even the things you haven't been able to clearly articulate to yourself yet. And the beautiful part is, you don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to force clarity. You don't even have to get it right with your words or visualizations. You don't need to understand any of it at the human level. You just need to trust this bigger part of you. Now, I know that can feel hard because, let's be honest, from where we stand, it doesn't feel like we're connected to anything vast or powerful. Most of the time, it feels like we're just this small, fragile, vulnerable human trying to make things happen in a world that often doesn't seem to cooperate. But here's the truth that changes everything. This bigger part of you isn't separate from you. It's still you, just on a different level. So you're not asking some external force for help. You're simply remembering what's already within you. Let me give you a metaphor that might help you see this more clearly. Imagine that you're sitting in a room with the most powerful supercomputer in existence in front of you. But this is no ordinary computer. It doesn't run on code. It runs on assumption. This computer can generate absolutely any experience you can imagine. instantly. It doesn't need time. It doesn't need steps. It doesn't need logic. It responds to consciousness, your awareness, what you're assuming to be true. Now, picture yourself surrounded by rows and rows of buttons. Each one represents a different possibility, a new version of you, a different timeline, a different relationship, a different income, a different way of being in the world. All of it is there, right in front of you. And with a simple focus, a simple selection, the story on the screen in front of you can shift completely. From a story of loneliness to a story of connection. From a story of lack to a story of abundance. From a story of confusion to a story of clarity. Just like that. But there's just one catch. You're wearing the equivalent of a virtual reality headset. And this headset is so immersive, so convincing, that you completely forget you're sitting in that room. All you see is the simulation that's playing on the screen. You forget about the buttons, you forget about the computer, you start to believe that the only way to change what's going on is to physically wrestle with it. You believe you're stuck, you believe you're small, you believe that life is something that's happening to you instead of something that is being projected from you. But the truth is, it's not. You've just completely identified with the current reality that is playing out on the screen. You're playing the game and you've forgotten that you're actually the one who designed the game and who is constantly choosing what is going on in the game. Now, here's where it gets beautiful. That supercomputer, that power, that room full of infinite possibilities is still right there. You never lost access to it. You never needed to go out and earn it. You only need to remember it. This is why you don't need to figure everything out with your logical mind, because the part of you that truly knows already knows. The bigger part of you already has the clarity, already knows the fastest, most joyful path to everything your heart desires. It's not trying to get clarity, it is clarity. So you don't need to know the how, you don't even need to know the full what, because your higher self knows what would truly delight you, even if you haven't figured it out yet at the human level. Now, you might be asking, if we can't take the headset off, how do we access the level where all this power exists? How do we connect with the bigger part of ourselves? The answer is simple, but it takes practice. You access the higher self not through effort, but through alignment. That's where tools like imagination, intention, presence, and stillness come in. These aren't just spiritual practices, these are the interfaces, the ways your human self connects with the higher self. When you quiet your mind, even for a few moments, you make space to hear the deeper guidance. When you select your desired reality deliberately, it's the equivalent of pressing a new button on the supercomputer. When you follow joy, excitement, interest, curiosity, ease, and peace, you're aligning yourself with the frequency of the bigger part of you. These aren't just nice tools, they're how you access that supercomputer. They're how you move your focus away from what's showing on the screen and back to the level where the programming is happening. This is what spiritual awakening is. It's the process of remembering that you're not trapped in the simulation, you're the one who's generating it. And this isn't just poetic language, this is the mechanism of creation. The higher self plants the seeds of desire, then your human self notices that desire, and you decide whether to shift into the reality where you get to have what you want or not. And if you do allow yourself to shift into the state of your wish fulfilled, then the higher self instantly selects the matching experience from the field of infinite possibilities and lays the complete path out in front of you, from wherever you are now all the way to the fulfillment of your desire. And then all you need to do is allow yourself to walk forwards along that path and live out that existence. That's it. You allow, you trust, you stay connected to the knowing that you're being guided and that everything that you want is being orchestrated for you, and that the outcome that you want is unfolding. And that way, everything that you want gets created and laid out for you absolutely seamlessly, with no difficulty or effort whatsoever. Now you might be thinking, okay, but what about when life just feels like a mess? What about when you feel lost? When nothing's working? When your desires feel miles away? Well, that's when this awareness is even more important, because the temptation in those moments is to double down on the effort, to fix it, to analyze it, to hustle, to force. But what if instead, in those exact moments, you paused? What if you said to yourself, I may not see the way right now, but the bigger part of me does, and I trust it? What if you stopped trying to figure it out and let yourself feel your way back to alignment? This isn't about ignoring your problems. This is about remembering your power within your problems. Because when you tune into the higher self, even for a moment, you allow it to start rearranging everything on your behalf. Not from force, but from intelligence, from love, from a perspective that sees the full picture. Let's get practical for a second. Let's say you're trying to manifest a new job, but you're filled with anxiety. You don't know what kind of job you even want. Nothing you've applied for feels right, and you're worried about money. What do? Well, first, you need to pause. Take a breath. Come back to this truth. The bigger part of me already knows what would truly fulfill me. It already knows the perfect opportunity, the perfect timing, the perfect connections, and it's already arranging that for me right now. Then, instead of trying to force anything, you relax into the knowing that the path to the job that is absolutely perfect for you has already been laid out for you. And then you trust. You stay open. You follow the nudges. You become willing to be surprised. That's how the higher self leads, through intuition, through synchronicities, through what feels good and exciting and interesting in the moment, through whatever feels like it's pulling you towards it, through whatever feels like you're going in the right direction, through whatever feels like the right next step. And remember, this isn't about the action in itself. There is never ever a risk that you might get it wrong and take the wrong action. Because whatever action you take, if you're operating in this way, then your desired reality will form itself around you regardless of what action you took. It's your willingness to walk forwards in that direction that matters, not the action you take in itself. So if you're in a place right now where you feel unclear, or like you don't know what you want, or like you're trying so hard to get life to work, let me just say this. You don't have to try so hard. The part of you that is you, but so much bigger than you realize, already knows what would delight you, already knows what's most aligned for you, already knows how to get it to you with no stress, no force, no confusion. And the more you relax into trust, the more you tune into that quiet inner knowing, instead of the noise on the outside, the more you'll begin to feel the presence of that deeper part of you. You'll feel inspired nudges. You'll notice subtle shifts in your perception. You'll start to find yourself in the right place at the right time without even trying, because you're finally operating from the level where everything is possible. So remember this. You're not stuck. You're not limited. You're not meant to figure everything out alone. There is a wiser, higher, clearer part of you that is always present and always guiding you. It's not separate from you, it is you. And it's time to start trusting it. You're not separate from your higher self. It's not a spiritual version of you that you have to earn access to. It is you. And every desire you have is already known, already understood, and already answered by the part of you that knows the way. Your only job is to stop resisting it, stop doubting it, stop fighting the current. Start trusting what's already in motion on your behalf. You don't need to figure it all out, you just need to remember who you are. So if this message has spoken to something deep inside you today, let that feeling guide you. You're not crazy for sensing that there's more. You're not imagining that quiet voice within you that says there's something better, something freer, something more aligned. That voice is real. That voice is the bigger you. So listen, trust, let go of the need to have it all figured out. You are so deeply loved, so completely supported. And your path is unfolding perfectly, even when it doesn't look that way on the surface. And when you operate from this state, the way life falls into place is just absolutely magical. So I strongly encourage you to practice this. And that way you can experience for yourself how wonderful life becomes when you do this. Okay, and on that note, that is it from me for today. If you haven't already, then please subscribe to get more reminders from me of how powerful you are and of the truth of who you really are. And I invite you to keep exploring and becoming aware of what's alive in you and to keep shifting more and more into a life that you truly love. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.